Hi guys, Dawn here. I want to tell my story of how I came to Flat Earth. And it happened at the end of September of last year. I was doing a Bible study about the end times, and I was especially intrigued with the Nephilim, and came across some videos of Rob Skiba's. And in the course of that, I saw he had a video of Flat Earth, and I was kind of like, what? You know, it didn't even register to me what that could possibly mean. I remember thinking, oh, I'm not going to click on that. But the next day, I was really kind of intrigued about it. So I thought, well, he seems like a pretty, down-to-earth person and level head on his shoulders. So I clicked on it. And the opening statement was, him saying how he still believed that the earth was a sphere, and on and on he went, and I was kind of like taken back by that. But at that moment, him making that statement, hindsight 2020, actually helps me, because I don't know, it just kind of made it a level playing field for me of how someone could, he clearly was kind of having to defend himself, and I didn't understand why. Excuse me. So anyway, down the rabbit hole I began, and funny thing is I've been asleep to everything, which I'll tell you more about that towards the end. But anyway, he suggested go to the Flat Earth Clues, and I did. I didn't watch all of them. I pretty much stopped at the Antarctic Treaty because I was very intrigued about that. I did a lot of research on the Antarctic Treaty. Then I went back to his website, testingtheglobe.com, and the proofs of the flat Earth just really struck me. The fact that we couldn't find any visible curve. NASA having faked going to the moon. I researched that, and I saw the wires and the harnesses and the photoshopping, and that wasn't too much of a mind blower. I mean, it was in one sense, but that definitely, kind of put things into perspective. If they lied about that, well then, of course they're going to lie about anything else, but just how much have they lied about? And so I, started just going through their website, looking at everything having to do with planets, looking at all their pictures of that, and then realizing that everything that I thought was real, that they had shown me since I was a kid, was clearly CGI, and in some cases they're just saying flat out that it's computer generated composite drawings. Probably the next few proofs that really struck me was the weather balloon footage of the sun, and seeing the sun like up close. It's not, clearly wasn't 93 million miles away. I mean, that blew me away, seeing the sun above a flat earth with a hot spot on top of it. So that, and seeing how water can't bend. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. You can talk about gravity all day long, all you want to. You've never seen water bend, and you never will, because it doesn't. And so yeah, the layers started coming off. I stayed awake for several days straight, like most people do, and barely ate, barely drank, barely did anything except research. It was like a flood of questions, for me anyway. Flood of questions comes flowing through you, because all these years when you're being taught in school and stuff, I think we have questions that we just dare not ask, because that door was just never open for us. And so when you start researching this, for me it was like a door was open and all the questions just come flowing out. And it's amazing to be able to get online and just, research. It's not just that we just use YouTube. A lot of people think flat earthers only use YouTube, and we don't. I grabbed books around the house, encyclopedias, anything I could get my hands on. So anyway, I researched about gravity, the proofs for it. I mean, everything just starts to fall apart. The geocentricity really rang home for me, because the fact that the earth feels still, it doesn't feel like it's moving. I mean, it's everything that our senses tells us And it resonated with me that God just would not make a world that is contrary to our senses. I mean, he's not like that. He's, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. And I still had the nagging voice in my head, well, everything is a ball. The sun, the moon, the planets. And I remember sitting in my room here and that last layer being that whining voice saying, well, everything's a ball, so we're a ball too. And I remember just researching, looking at another video, looking at another picture from NASA's website and realizing, yeah, everything's not a ball. When you go and look at amateur footage of that people have done, and you look at the stars, they're luminaries. They're not terra firma balls by far. And it just opens up a whole new world, and that's what it did for me. Let's see, what else? Make sure I didn't forget anything as far as proofs go. The horizon always rising to eye level. I mean, that's like something you can check for yourself. The horizon should descend. It should, fall away from us, and it doesn't. It keeps going up. And it's not that the earth is too big and we're too small, like Neil deGrasse Tyson says, well, anything that crawls upon the earth, well, last time I checked, my friends aren't crawling upon the earth. We stand upright and we walk. So, yeah, for the cricket, maybe the earth looks flat, but not for you and me. So this was a huge deal. Yeah, I had like a sleep, but on top of that, I was asleep to everything. All I did, I was not a conspiracy person at all, and I didn't know nothing about 9/11 or Sandy Hook or any of the false flags. I knew that there was evil in the world. I knew that bad things happened. But after I awakened to the flat earth and realized that, yeah, the earth is not living on a spinning ball, I decided, well, what else are they lying about? So thankfully, David Weiss did a show with Rob Skiba, and he touched on 9/11, Sandy Hook, and the Boston bombing. So I went and started researching 9/11. And when I did that, on top of, having just awoken to the fact that I had been lied to about the flat earth, when I saw the deception of 9/11, I grew up thinking I lived in the best country in the entire world. And when you see that for what it is, you realize that you don't live in the best country. You actually live in the worst in many respects. So it still kind of bothers me. But I know in the end everything's going to work out, and that there's a connection between that and the deception of the world being actually level and not a spinning ball. So I have tremendous hope in that regard. And the other false flags as well. I mean, I thought surely, all these poor children died at Sandy Hook. I was heartbroken like most other people. I, cried tears for children that never died. And so when I had all of that come all at once, I had a truly rude awakening, but it wasn't rude. It was meant to be. I look back now, and I really feel like God has his hand upon me waking up, because back in April of last year, I had like an uncanny desire to research things about science, about quantum physics and time travel and different documentaries that were going on, and there was always something about them that didn't sit right with me. And I couldn't put my finger on why I was like drawn to all this science stuff. But now looking back, I mean, it makes perfect sense, because when you come into the awakening, the true nature of our world, and you start hearing names like Tesla. I had watched a documentary about him prior to coming to the flat earth truth. So everything kind of came together in a really cool way. And all the channels that, I've watched from the beginning till now, I just want to thank you guys for coming out and doing all that you do, for taking the time and the effort and putting up with all that you have to put up with to get this truth out there. I just want to encourage anybody that hasn't made a video yet, or is kind of sitting back still like I did for over 6 months. You know, get out there and just give it a try. You don't have to show your face. I didn't on my first video, so you know, you can do the same thing, but I have a connection with you guys like I've had with no other people really ever, and I'm very grateful for that, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for stepping out and being brave and speaking the truth no matter what. So yeah, I was like the typical sheep. I was totally asleep, and Flat Earth woke me up to everything. So I think that's really amazing. It's definitely not a psyop, because you have to have like, this is not for the weak-hearted. You can't be in this thing and have like, you have to have pretty thick skin to deal with everything that gets said about you and to you and on your channel and in comments, and the way you have to deal with people, and even those that aren't super mean. I mean, they're just a lot of questions and stuff. So anyway, I hope this video helps somebody. That's why I'm doing this, is because so many people have helped me. And even if it was just somebody out there that isn't doing experiments, but they're just talking about their life, just sharing their journey. And so that's what I'm going to do. And as I can, I am going to do experiments. And I have other stuff to share with you guys that I'm excited about. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you guys. When I first came into the awakening of it and was trying to figure out, well, how could they get away with keeping something this big, you know, under wraps? And so when I was researching about the Antarctic Treaty, I spent a lot of time there at the UN website. And I suggest anybody, whether you're new at this or you've been in this for a while, if you haven't read the treaty, there's a moon treaty and there's a space law treaty. And it really does put everything in the right perspective. You see how these treaties are written. And if I can, I'll provide links to those. When you see how these treaties are written, especially the space law treaty, see, it's not illegal for them to fake space. And that's where I think things need to change. I'm coming up on 13 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up here pretty quick. But yeah, I have a lot more to share, and so thanks for being patient. I've been, you know, getting things worked out with my laptop and stuff. So anyway, I love you guys bunches, all of you. There's so many, and what's really cool is you're all around the world. You know, I never would have thought I would have had friends all around the world, especially with something like this. So I love you guys, and I look forward to making more videos and to sharing with you the stuff that I've learned and getting your feedback on it. So if you're new to this, you know, I've got a couple of playlists by Fran Anderson that are really great. There's a lot of channels out there. Just keep searching for the truth and you'll find it. And don't be afraid of it. And trust me, you'll sleep a lot better at night. I know I do. So I love you guys. God bless you.